Hey friends, my name is Cal Ellerby. I am the disciple making catalyst for NEWChurch, the church planting initiative of the Apostolic Church of Pentecost. We are going to, over the next few weeks, explore the stories of a number of people who have been walking together with us in the Living Like a Missionary Challenge. We look forward to all of the different insights and thoughts that the different individuals are going to share with us. Let's get right to it. What I'm really interested to start with is, first of all, tell me who you are and a little bit about your faith journey. Like, I've gotten to know Chris well, and he's obviously the product of some pretty healthy stuff. So I'm curious to know just sort of a little bit about you. You don't have to give a long bio, but I would like to know a little bit about your faith journey.
Sure, I'll start. My parents were Christians, and I was part of that process of being there and making decision making. It wasn't something that it was just a normal thing to go to church and be part of the process of learning about Christianity and learning how to give service. And that was right from the very beginning. I never ever went through a time period when I misjudged my thinking on Jesus.
Mm.
It just kind of grew. Sometimes in a teenagehood, sometimes in things go on in your adulthood and you question. I didn't have that. And God
Interesting.
bless me for it.
Hmm. Where did you grow up, Bonnie?
Moncton, New Brunswick.
Okay.
I
Blair?
grew up, I grew up in Cape Breton, and my parents did not go to church. My dad and mom, when they were married, my dad's family, who were Catholic, disowned my parents. My mother's family were strong Protestant people. My grandfather built a church and so on. They did not go to church. They felt a tremendous division and hurt from the church. So it wasn't until much later in life, probably when I was 15 or 16, my parents moved away into the Moncton area, that they started going to church. And prior to that,
In fact, we went to our church.
yes, they went to the church that Bonnie's parents went to. And I just had a very, very strong connection with nature, and I saw God in nature, and never lost faith.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
Now,
it was just that kept me going.
so I don't want to talk about Chris because I'm going to talk about him or with him tomorrow, but I
Okay.
am, he obviously was impacted and influenced in his own journey by your influence. So was the gospel central to your home and your communication with your boys?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
We went to church.
We went to church every Sunday.
If there was a hockey game, and as you know, there's hockey games and practices, and both the boys were very much involved in sports, I would go off to church with one of them, and Blair would go off to the game, or vice versa. I was manager of a team, and I'd go off with one boy to a game, and Blair would go off to church with the other boy. And
Yeah,
it was natural. It wasn't complaining or grumbling or trying to get them out of bed. It was just that was what we did.
yeah. We went to Protestant churches throughout our married life. And here, when we moved to Ottawa 48 years ago, we found a church nearby. The boys got involved with the church and with youth groups, and we had been involved with youth groups in our church. Yeah, they took a leadership role, both of them, in youth groups in the greater Ottawa, Montreal area.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
I mean, you've obviously instilled some unbelievable foundations in both your boys, but it's leadership in their lives is clear. So, um, just to transition a little bit, you've run a home group or a house church, whatever you call it, for a number of years.
over 20
Uh,
years.
Yeah. So why did you start that? That's interesting to me.
I believe we just felt it was important that we had something in our own home. There's no, the family wasn't around anymore. And it was good to not only just do things in service of the church and go to church on Sunday, what else could we do? And it was the home church that we both felt we were comfortable with.
Right.
It was lots of learning. We ran workshops and things like that for the church and things as well. Relationship building, marriage building, things like that. So,
but I guess when we were going to the first church that Chris started in Ottawa, he was talking about the concept of home churches. We were, 30 kilometers away, at least, from that church community geographically, and we thought, well, it would be nice to start something in our area. And we started collecting up some people from the area and asked them if they wanted to come. And at one time we had 19 people,
1920.
19, 20 people.
Too big.
It was too big. And
all week.
anyway, so, gradually now we're down to 14 over the years.
And some people have changed and some are core.
Yeah, people come and go.
And there's only one other couple that go to our church.
All the other people
All
that
the
come
churches.
from other churches, other denominations. Yeah,
Didn't go to church at all, but now go to church.
right.
Yeah, that's really incredible. It's just interesting to me that, this has been going on in your journey for all these years, and you've maintained the the development of it and the sustainability of it, because that's not that common. People.
Well, it's funny when we did go through. I don't know whether I was getting bored with our format, or I didn't think people were. They just arrived. And I thought some way we have to change this and challenge them. And that's when we went to the discipleship model.
Allowing people to take leadership roles. Well, allowing them, but forcing them with more. We said, here's the schedule, and put your name down one of these weeks. And
you still do that?
Yeah, and you can decide what you're going to lead on.
But now it only takes a week to get filled in.
Now we do it at one meeting. Everybody just writes their name in.
And that's over food.
So, Bonnie, you said you embraced a discipleship model. Can you describe that for me some?
Well, one of the things we felt that people should invest, not just show up.
Right.
And the investment was for them to take on a leadership role with some type of, we did not have the DBS model, which I really will encourage over the next time period, but very similar, pick a passage or so out of the Bible. And always question and answer periods. And if you can, get that out to people the day before, so they might have an opportunity to check out the Bible verse and think about it a little bit.
We encourage people to ask 3 or 4 questions when they send out what they're going to be talking about, and to encourage people to do a bit of research on those questions, so if they come with an opinion. Or something
Bible-based,
or something that they can share with other people, which turns out many times to be a teaching. Yeah.
So did you sort of just decide amongst yourselves this is a good approach, or like how did you land on that idea?
Well, that was when I was in the discouraged stage, because I didn't feel that we were growing in our faith.
Right.
I didn't think the group were growing in their faith. So that's when we moved to that model.
Yeah,
So-
that's interesting.
We did it many times over food. We always have a Christmas party or after Christmas party accordingly, whenever
Potluck, yeah.
potluck time that it can be at our place, and we always have a barbecue. And sometimes I have a bean bake in the fall.
Yeah.
But
So is it
that's-
always at your house?
Yes.
Yeah, normally, although,
When Blair had his heart attack for the first time,
yeah,
the barbecue went to somebody else's home. So the
Right.
format is 3 weeks out of a month.
here,
No, 3 weeks out of a month.
that's right,
1 week is Zoom and 2 weeks is here.
that's right.
Okay. And
Yeah,
1 week off.
Yeah.
and 1 week off, yeah. But during Zoom, I sent them a picture of something that they were gonna have for a virtual snack. And I got friends when they bake something to send me a picture, and then I just sent it off to home church.
That's a good idea.
I cheated.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You don't have to make it yourself, but you can make a picture. That's good. So I'm curious to know about the size of your group, like 14. So here's my question, I guess, in everybody's group, because everybody's a little bit different. But I find that if we get many more than 10, typically, the dynamics change in terms of the actual personal,
Yes.
sort of walking in the story and all of that.
It's wonderful to have 8 or 10.
There's always somebody who's away or on vacation or sick
Right.
or for special occasions,
They always show up for
for food.
to eat.
Yeah. you
Once
know,
they see the picture of what you're serving, Bonnie, then they show up whether if they like that.
And we
Right.
also have a kitchen party. We have a kitchen party for almost a half an hour at the front end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the maritime kitchen party, everybody stands around in the kitchen, gaps
Yeah, with a cup of tea
with a
and,
cup of tea, and then all the mess is in the kitchen.
Right.
and it allows people to have that social time
Yeah.
and get that out. And then we just say, okay, it's time to start the meeting, and everybody moves to the room and takes a seat, and
And it becomes Bible time.
out come the Bibles, and away we go.
So Bonnie, you when I said about the 14 people, I could tell on your facial expression that there was a certain amount of preference to a smaller number, if
Oh, yeah.
possible. Why is that? What do you find that?
Well, you can get around to everybody, and when we're doing prayer, people have a tendency to open up differently.
Right.
When the dynamics is 14, when the dynamics are 18 and 19, sometimes some people need it more prayer than others, but that's typical. There's
Yeah.
always somebody going through something.
Yeah.
And even with 10, there's somebody going through something. And you
Yeah.
generally, during the week, we send emails back and forth about prayer.
Yeah.
Somebody will say, I need prayer for such and such. And we don't know who this person is, but they'll tell us what's going on in their lives as part of why they need the prayer.
Yeah.
And then bam, like the emails just get, and then it's all over with.
Yeah.
Until we meet again.
Yeah.
And
So
that
you have
happens.
regular communication with your group through beyond just the weekly meeting?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, not every week.
not every week.
But yes, every month for sure, and sometimes 2 or 3 times a month at least.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You find in a group that's a little bit bigger, whether it's 14 or even 10, that certain people dominate the need time or anything like that? Do you have the same
They
people with this?
try. I'm quite regimented. So the idea is they arrive here at 7:30 and they should be going out the door at 10 after 9.
Right.
And they know that, and they appreciate that because the feedback that we had got years ago, and not for our church, our home church in particular, but the other people would say, I'm exhausted the next day. I can't get up and go to work.
Right.
And therefore they don't come the following week.
People are very conscious that if there's, let's say, 12 people in the room, they're trying to let other people say what they need prayer for or who needs prayer. And they are a bit reluctant to speak up about their own problem once they see some of other people's problems. Whereas if you have a smaller group, everybody will take a turn.
Excellent job. So I'm curious to know, and we'll just cover some of these things quickly, but I am curious to know why you decided to connect with our missionary pathway, learning to live like a missionary journey.
Just thought we love to learn. We've given many workshops ourselves, and we just thought we always can learn something new.
Yeah.
And going through, it was only 7 weeks. We thought we could commit at least to 6 of them.
Yeah.
And therefore it was a positive experience to be able to do.
Yeah, we were looking to learn something that we could bring back to the group. And we definitely got things out of this that we brought back to the group. Not just DBS, but other things.
So did you have any specific expectations coming in?
I didn't, because I wasn't exactly sure what the curriculum was going to be.
Right.
The first week, we had a long discussion whether we were going to go to the second week.
Yeah.
To be truthful.
Oh, interesting. Can you tell me why?
I guess it wasn't particularly the format. It was just that we were thinking, are we going to bump along here, or are we going to get? Don't forget, we're action orientated.
Yeah, two tight guys.
And you need to do a lot of listening, and that's what's important, and that's what's important in our home church, to do a lot of listening.
Right.
Yeah.
But then you're going to have to action if you listen. You could spend maybe more time, but we had to be willing. How many hours were we going to put into this? But we know
Right.
for every hour we put into it, we get an hour out of it.
Right.
We know that. Long time experiences.
Right.
Yeah. So I am just maybe would be interested in, was there one or two things that kind of helped or were new to you, or were tools that you could move forward with in your own journey?
Definitely. I have some of the highlights for me were, and I've got these written down. I liked creating the I will statements.
Yeah.
I thought that was very strong because it sharpened my character to commit in my journey.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't had to write the statement down, I won't, anyway. The next thing I liked was the relationship mapping. I'm a very visual format person, and I had never done my Fab Five in that format before. And
Right.
that was very positive to use that.
Yes, I second that. I found that very useful. The relationship mapping. I had a Fab Five, but I didn't realize it was one from that
Group,
contact, one from that group, one a friend, it was very interesting. It allowed me to think maybe there's other people in those groups that I should be looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Very
like
cool.
the DBS because it's a blueprint format.
Yeah.
And that blueprint format, we've already used it in the home church. We used it January the 30th. Went over very, very well, but we haven't been a leader since, in the sense of doing the program.
Right.
But coming up in 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and we will reintroduce the DBS format. It's a little bit of a format that we always use anyway, but this is structured.
Yeah, it was good.
And I guess that's the teacher in me. I
Yeah.
love the acronyms because I used acronyms all the time. Frog, bless. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I guess it's a learning process. Helps
Yeah.
me remember things better. I love that we did listen to other people because we have to do that in the home church. and everybody took time to listen at the
Yeah.
beginning to each other.
I have a little different take on
I
that.
know you did.
She has patience of Job, but sorry, I thought sometimes people could have been reined in a little. You know, it's all right to ask for a story and get a story, but not to drag it on.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just me, whatever.
And you know what? That's always the rub in a group, right? And you have to measure in so many times beyond what this person is saying is why are they saying it? Do they need to, do
Yes.
they need to be heard? Whatever. It's just, yeah,
And then there's the
that's
whole cultural differences too that you have to be conscious
Yeah.
of.
And we find in our home church we have at least one male that would take over every time.
sure.
And he has been reined in and reined in and reined in
Yeah.
so that he knows that we're a group and we all have to be listened to.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's
Well, once again,
interesting to have your perspective because you're already doing this,
Yeah.
right? It's not for most people, the idea about doing disciple making, understanding any kind of principles around evangelism, multiplication, anything like that. It's so new to them. It's the craziest thing to me because, many of these people have spent their whole life in the church and have never engaged in a lost person's journey. They've never engaged in somebody's spiritual development. And, people ask me why we launched this thing. And it's like, we just need some tools that can be used without a whole bunch of confusion. I mean, I look for the simplest tool I could find. I've looked at all kinds of stuff. And I believe that if we can, see growth in people doing what you guys are doing and bringing people into a journey together, that we can have significant impact. The problem is most of what we offers very little accountability, very little structure, and measurable things that can say, like you said, Bonnie, I will, and then write it down and hold yourself to account for it. So I appreciate a great deal what you're doing. What I am, hoping that some of the principles and tools that we've made available would be helpful to even a group like your own. And,
They are. Yeah, definitely are.
That was one thing you wanted to bring
Yeah,
up.
I think that, if there's a way to integrate this with a session or two on how to start a home church, like gathering the people, finding the people, this was a good session for that. Now, what do you do with the people when you've got them? How do you process a home church group? How do you lead that group and so
Yes.
on?
You lead without leading.
You need some of that, you need
Yeah, so-
that to be combined with what you have.
Interesting that you say that. So we're in the process of getting ready to launch. It'll be in the fall now, what we call Living Like a Missionary 2.0. And the design is to say, what are you going to do with them now? What are you going to do with your Blessed Five? What are you going to do with your Fab Five? How are you going to multiply? What does that look like when you got to go to work every day? Those kinds of questions. That what does it look like to assimilate into your thinking the idea that the power of God is a necessary element of ministering to people and to making your gathering if you're going to create a small group. So yeah, I appreciate you asking that because I've had that process going on in my head for some time. It'll probably be a little more specific to people who are actually either doing it or interested in doing it, as opposed to more randomly available to whoever wants to participate.
You could start a home church without even having a Fab Five, and vice versa.
Yeah.
But the home church may be a tool for integrating your Fab Five and involving them and bringing them in closer. The church is all about community, and that,
Should be anyway.
and
be.
relationships. It's really about that, and people helping each other and serving each other and learning from each other. I don't think people have any idea that that is an opportunity for them.
Do you consider your home gathering a church?
Yeah, I guess so. Home church. This was called.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because, as the generational whims, if you want to call it that, change, there's a new generation that finds the corporate gathering less appealing than the home fellowship.
I don't know if people are afraid of the building. The church.
Well,
Who knows?
they've been indoctrinated through movies and everything else their entire life, that it's all basically boring and negative, and it's a cultural shift that they're not familiar with or interested in or whatever. A couple of things. One is that they've rarely been exposed to what you just talked about, a community of people that share passion and vision and energy and life and mission and all those kinds of things. But the other thing, more importantly, is they haven't met Jesus yet. And when they do, everything changes. Any final thoughts that you can leave with anybody who's listening that would, first of all, would you recommend that people go through our LLM process as a part of their disciple making?
Oh, definitely.
I would, yeah, for
The
sure.
whole idea of prayer, the whole idea of the Fab Five, the whole idea of the DBS, even if they can just gather those things up and make it part of their toolbox.
Yeah.
One of the things you spoke about, or you didn't speak about, but they spoke about in the one of the programs we were watching, and it was that 15-second storytelling. Actually, I thought, oh boy, do I love that. A one-liner in a prayer.
Yeah, man, I'm with you, Bonnie. I agree. Blessings on you and your home. Thank you for what you do. It's been such a joy to get to know you a little bit, and look forward to being together as soon as we can.
And you too.
Great.
All right.
Good
Good
night.
night, guys. Thanks again. Just as an invitation, if you're interested in participating in the next cohort of Living Like a Missionary, please contact me at cal@acop.ca. We'll give you the information as to when the new ones are going to be coming on board, and we'd love to see you equipped to be the vessel and vehicle that God has chosen to use within the context that He has placed you. Blessings on you.